insurance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see increasing sunshine. Our high this afternoon in the low to mid 80s, mainly clear overnight, low near 60 tonight. On Tuesday, back to sunshine. Our high on Tuesday in the low 80s, and Wednesday, lots of sun. Highs on Wednesday will be right around 80 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning, welcome into halftime. Glorious Monday. Happy to be with you as we wrap up the month of September with some sports talk over the next 3 hours here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, my partner, Kristen Johnston, and Colton Littleby producing, and just Mike Irwin with us. He'll be with us way later in the show at 1:15 after Sam Pittman's Monday press conference, so a lot of open segments as we go throughout the show today. Now, remember, Matt, I walked inside AT&T Stadium, got in there about 4 hours before kickoff. It is an adventure to try to get inside when the parking lots don't open until 3 hours before kickoff, and you're on the air at 3 hours before kickoff, but that's a whole other story. Walk inside Jerry World, and it looks the same as every trip that I have made there, whether it's been for Cowboys games or the Cotton Bowl or for this series, which finally is ending at Jerry World. And then when the game ended, I looked at the final score and I thought to myself, I even said it to Chuck on the post-game show, doesn't it feel like you've watched this game before? This very game with Arkansas and Texas A&M, final score and everything, close game and everything, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't. It really did have a feel of Groundhog Day on Saturday at AT&T Stadium, Matt. And unfortunately, now you got a couple losses and where you're thinking, hey, you know what? We probably should have won that game but couldn't pull it out. Good to see you today, man. What'd you do over the weekend outside of Arkansas football?
Yeah, there's a little soccer going on. Baseball's getting ready for some playoffs. But yeah, man, that Arkansas A&M game, it's I think you just nailed it. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Go back and look at film. Go back and watch plays. The plays were out there to be made. We just didn't make them. I mean, that's just as simple as it is. The defense holds the team to 21 points. And then your offense, Amber Heard's the bed. Almost said the real thing there. But the offense just absolutely get back and watch film. There's work to do. No excuses right now for the offense to be that. I mean, 3 turnovers. What are we doing, guys? I mean, 3 turnovers each game. Like, this is just the thing now. We're going to turn the ball over every game. Can't win if you're going to beat yourself. And then abandon the run game. I don't understand why we abandoned the run game. It just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense why we would abandon the run game and not keep it going. But hey, what are you going to do? You're going to,
especially to your point about abandoning the run game, when when you're playing into the what is
it's
right
still
now
a
the
one-score
number
game. You know, it's not like you're down 3 touchdowns.
And you're also playing into the number one weakness of what your team is right now, which is pass protection, specifically pass protection. And hey, it isn't even just pass protection, Matt. It's protecting the ball on the RPO, which goes into pass protection because, I mean, it's all pretty much the same thing at that point. You're a team that does run block well for the most part. You're a team that I thought, based upon what we saw against Auburn, you might have a chance to win the ugly games. And that's what Saturday at AT&T Stadium had a chance to be. Win an ugly game, which means you should be all right with 3 yards and a cloud of rubber pellets and an occasional 6-yard gain and something, and try to win the field position game, which, by the way, I think when it's all said and done, maybe the MVP for A&M was the punter. How often he pinned Arkansas back inside the 15-yard line. Tyler White, 9 punts, never returned it. You're looking at a long field the entire game. And, hey, maybe there was a little bit of rat poison to the 75-yard touchdown to Tesla to start scoring and think, you know what? If Green avoids the rush, we're going to get some guys running free deep over the middle or down the sidelines. Turned out none of that happened, and the pass rush got beaten over and over again.
I thought Elko had a really good game plan for Taylon Green, and you're right. That first drive, he was able to get on the rush and avoid the rush and have the long touchdown play. But if you noticed, 90%, 80% of the times Taylon Green was getting flushed out of the pocket, it was early, and he's running sideline to sideline. Wow. I mean, that's what you want. If you're going to try to stop somebody, you bring it early and make him get out of the pocket before it's even set. Pocket wasn't even set a lot. And then he's ballooning out to the sideline, and your pursuit's coming in. I thought Elko, they did a pretty good job of containing Green.
And did anybody get a count on the number of free rushers that were coming at him all game long? I mean, think about that. How many times was there a free rusher that got off to the edge or down the middle and completely blew the play up before it even had a chance to start?
So it's a talent or effort deal, and I don't think the effort's lacking. I think the effort's there. But now you have to ask the guys to do what they can do. We can't go into a protection scheme if we're not going to block it. You got to zone scheme it up. Whatever you got to do, this just can't keep happening because – you know who's better than Texas A&M? You know who's coming in next week that's better at everything Texas A&M does?
Well, I mean, I think there are probably 4 teams on the schedule right now that are better than Texas A&M.
I think
they're all coming into your own building.
I think Tennessee's going to be in the playoff 12, Phil. I don't know if they win the SEC because I don't know how everybody plays each other, but I got Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee, those 3, probably Texas. So, yeah, I think Tennessee's going to be in the playoff 12.
It isn't about to get any easier, to your point, Matt. Absolutely. And, hey, if the pass rush from A&M was an issue, I think the pass rush from Tennessee is going to be an issue. I think the pass rush from Mississippi State is going to be an issue. From Ole Miss as well, from everybody, all the way down. I mean, we were told previously that it's not a matter that our guys are getting whipped up front. It's, missed assignments, bad communication, and the kind of stuff that made me think that this is the sort of thing that every team in college football that's put a rebuilt offensive line out there is dealing with in the first month. And you're looking, pardon, I got an issue with the microphone here. And then you're watching the line get beat when it's 4-on-5 sometimes, or even 4-on-6 with the blocker in the backfield. I mean, that's also part of this, Matt. It isn't just a matter of communication. I think that's part of it, but it is a matter of getting beaten by quick defensive ends and even the linebackers coming up the middle, or even the way that the defensive linemen would stunt occasionally. It just seemed that if it wasn't physical at times, linemen were just caught off guard by where the pressure was coming from, who was bringing the pressure, and they couldn't even get a finger on them in some cases.
You know what is not very fun is taking an L, and all these players, and we've all been on teams, and you should have won a game and you didn't. It's not any fun taking an L. So you got to get back in the film room. You got to get in there and know your assignments and get back to work. You're exactly right. It doesn't get any easier, but man, let's hope, because the honest truth is we play Tennessee and take an L, it's on to basketball. It's bye week and it's on to basketball. That's just we're going to be there October 19th.
We can't.
It
can't already be basketball.
It's on to basketball.
It's September. Oh,
well, we
no.
made it to October though.
You're right. I mean, it is the last day for it. It might as well be like October -1 today, as far as we're concerned. But with all this talk of the offense being the issue, and right now I think they are. They had the lead in the fourth quarter with a field goal. I mean, they did, and the defense did have a chance to hold that lead. But A&M kind of caught them in a place where the backups were there playing on the defensive line. They got pushed around a little bit, never substituted. There was no timeout called to make a substitution, and you didn't get your starters, who I thought your starters on the defensive line. And heck, the backups, too, played really, really well up until that second to last drive. And, yeah, I think you're about to mention Landon Jackson.
Best game.
Maybe the best game he's had at Arkansas overall. I mean, with everything put together.
Best game I've seen him play this year. Absolute stud. He was flying around the field, and that's why I say it's not an effort deal. This team fought hard. I mean, they were out there the entire game, and they were fighting and competing. And that's what hurts you a little bit, because plays were out there to be made, and they left them out on the field. It's a learning experience. Taylor Green's a baby. He's 1-1 as a starting quarterback in the SEC. Got to have reps. I had a coach tell us one time when you're going through your reads, if your first read's open, fire the ball to him and throw it. And it's like he's almost kind of waiting to see if that second read for a bigger play might come open. That's not how you do it. As soon as your first read's open and he's open, you get him the ball, and you get him the ball quick and let him make a play.
I've been told by a listener here, Matt, it is I can't remember exactly what it was here on the text line, because they're already firing in pretty quickly. I did listen to part of Chuck and Bo this morning. I didn't have my ears too open for the morning rush. I think he's called it Mad Monday. There's some anger out there in Radio Land, so I think it's probably a good idea to break and open up the phone lines and see if anybody wants to get in here and just release some of that pent-up frustration, which I don't know if it's really been that pent up, because you probably broke the remote control on Saturday and spent yesterday just sort of, gritting your teeth and holding it all in. So now's the time. 877-377-6963. Obviously, much more on Arkansas A&M right after this on Halftime.
Good luck with your layoffs, all right? I hope your firings go really well.
This is Halftime.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy, the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Thanks for watching.
Available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm only pretty sure that I can't take anymore. Before you take a swing, I wonder what are we fighting for? When I say out loud, I wanna get out of this. I wonder, is there anything I'm gonna miss? I wonder how it's gonna be when you don't know me. How's it gonna be?
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Man, we had some pretty good football games, or at least tight ones that come down to the very end of it. Kentucky by 3 over Ole Miss. You see that? I heard that was
I watched some of that one.
That's the biggest win over a ranked opponent since 1976.
Yeah, something like
for
that.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
48 years. Good for them. I guess it really did mean something that Ole Miss hadn't played anybody yet. Oklahoma over Auburn. It was a turnover that did it at the end, the only turnover. On a 67-yard interception return for the go-ahead score. And then after the game, I think Freeze put it on him for putting Peyton Thorne in that position to have to make that throw. Alabama, Georgia, wow. I wasn't able to watch, Matt, because I was driving back from Arlington, but I listened to about every play of that game from about the middle of the second quarter on. Wow. First game of the year, and you'll be hard-pressed to find a better one.
You know who the best team since Kirby Smart's been at Georgia at second half adjustments? It's Georgia Bulldogs. Their second half has been the best, and it's not even close to any other team in the country the last couple of years. I don't know what they were doing in the first half, but it happens. Alabama, they can get up on you in a hurry, but the resolve, the resilience, to kind of stay together, stay glued in, and keep fighting. That was pretty cool. But man, that's 2 real football teams right there. Wouldn't be surprised, Phil, honestly. I mean, I know there's a couple of them out there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see one of those two teams holding the national championship trophy at the end of the year.
What about those two teams playing again? Not even in the SEC title game, but in a playoff.
Tennessee and Texas might be in the mix right there, but you think Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, I think between those four teams, two of those teams will be playing in the SEC championship game for that bye week. And then you don't know what kind of pods, how they're going to do it, but I know in the Champions League for that first matchup, they don't let you play somebody that's in your domestic conference. So you're probably not going to get an SEC first matchup when you're first setting the bracket. It might have to be to win one because that's just kind of how I have a feeling that's how they'll do it.
Oh yeah, whichever team is the SEC champion and gets the automatic bye, they'll end up playing an SEC team again. That's my.
But not the first. Yeah,
not the first game.
Yeah,
right?
that
not
first
the first
matchup.
round game.
That's
right.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Eduardo's with us here. If you want to get on, it'll be wide open here pretty much for the first 2 hours. 877-377-6963. Eduardo texted me this morning. He even was entertained by all the other SEC games. I don't know if you were entertained by Arkansas A&M, Eddie. I don't know if a lot of Arkansas fans were. The rest of the country was. People like close football games. That one was. It's just, didn't it feel like you've seen that game before?
I tell you what, it's like the same old song. You know, I was pumped for this game because I think we should have won the game. And, that's what hurts the most. But, as Matt just touched on it. You beat yourself. You're your own Achilles heel. And you got to listen here, Landon Jackson. Man, as talented as you are as a running back, I've noticed one thing. When you take a hit, you fumble the football. And you're inside the 10-yard line, son, that ain't happen. Let me say this. Teams 100 times out of 100 times in the SEC get the ball on your 10-yard line or less, they're going to score. I mean, what more can a defense do? Listen to these stats. You hold the second rushing team in the SEC for 3 quarters to like 1.3 yards a carry, something like I'm pretty close. And then we go into the fourth quarter where it always goes into against the Aggies. And I don't know where this came from. You decide to take your starting defensive rotation out and put your backups in, and on one drive, just one drive all day by the Aggies is enough to beat you. They had 8 rushes for 7.2 yards a carry for 58 yards to beat you because you put your backups in. And next time that happens, you cannot do that.
Eduardo, it would be fair to say that up to that point, those backups, being Quincy Rhodes, Charlie Collins, Danny Salee, and I'm forgetting who else was out there at that moment, that for the most part, they did well stopping the run against the Aggies to begin with. It's just they ended up getting stuck out there for, I think, a lot longer than the coaches expected them to be out there. The Aggies, that's where Colin Klein was really smart. They never substituted until it was too late. And Arkansas did not call a timeout to get the starters out there again. And I think those guys were a little bit winded. I don't know about if I'm saying the starters were. The backups, though, got pushed around in that drive. Up until that drive, A&M had run for only 46 yards for the game. They rushed for 52 yards on that drive. So, yeah, I mean, and look, those backups were a reason why you'd held them to 46 yards up to that point. It's just the Aggies caught them with their pants down and they couldn't substitute or didn't call the timeout to substitute.
Well, so we got a big game coming in at Hoptown, USA this Saturday. And contrary to what some think, life on the road in SEC, that's what it makes the best conference in the country. I believe we have a chance to win this game. If we come and pack that stadium, who's Tennessee played just like Ole Miss? They beat Chattanooga. They beat Kent State. They went on the road and beat a North Carolina State team, which just got their doors blown off. They're 2-2, and they went to Oklahoma with quarterback issues and won by 10. Well, they're coming into the Hoptown, baby. And if the defense plays big, if we don't turn the ball over, we got a chance to beat the balls. And that's what I'm betting on, baby.
All right, Eduardo, it's good to hear from you. Thank you for listening to the show. I will be making no predictions on Arkansas versus Tennessee on this Monday. But I do know the betting line was pretty ugly looking. I think it was 11.5 or 12 points when I took a look earlier. And remember, the line's gone towards the opponent twice in the last 4 weeks on Friday. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's going on again. I don't think it is fair to put the fumble inside the 10 on Jaquindon Jackson. That's on the free edge rusher that got in front of the two of them literally before Green had a chance to even put the ball in Jackson's midsection. There's somebody right there in their face. That's on, I think that was off the left side. That's on the left tackle, or that's on play design or scheme. But that, to me, is not on either of the players that were near the football at that
You're
moment.
talking about the one in the second quarter?
Yes.
Well, so when you run that's called a mesh point right there when you're reading that guy. And David Lee was, he Wildcat, took it to the Dolphins. He's great, one of the best option coaches I've ever been around. So I'm just echoing what the truth is. Well, you can't hesitate right there. So when you put that ball in the air and it's the mesh and your running back's supposed to come in, it's a soft pocket and you're reading the end. If you hesitate, that defensive end's so talented, then you're messing up. So it's on. He is a free blocker. That's on the scheme. That's on the coaching, because they did that a couple weeks ago. They were like almost delaying a little bit. I don't know if they know how to coach the option. If you haven't really ever coached it or been around it, it's tough to kind of get all the points to it. But that's it. You can't hesitate on that mess point. You got to go hit that. The running back has to hit that. Get there as quick as you can. A quarterback puts the ball in a soft pocket right there, and then if the defensive end, you read his shoulders, you read the way that if he steps upfield, man, you give it, and if he comes down with his shoulders, you take it. It's a very simple process. That's 100% on coaching the quarterback and the running back. That is not. That's the on design.
Here's Double D in Bentonville. Hey, Double D, thanks for calling. What's going on?
Hey, a couple questions. Matt just alluded to that. That was a read play, and you teach your quarterback if the read is crashing, you never put the ball in the back belly. You automatically know you're going to pull it. And Green stuck it in there. He should have never done that, which caused the fumble. Second thing, can y'all look up the snaps that the defensive lineman played and tell us later, because I read, whether it's right or wrong, we had a player in there that only played 3 snaps all season. And there was one guy in there that missed 2 tackles in the hole.
Was that 98, I think the bigger guy. Yeah, he missed a couple tackles. I wrote that down, yeah.
3rd and 4 when Moss ran for something like 30 yards. Salih had a chance to get him in the backfield there, yeah.
Yeah, 98 wasn't blocked. He just missed tackle.
Got to make that tackle, yeah.
He's a transfer from BYU.
That's the ball game. That's what now?
He's a transfer from BYU, and they've been kind of slow to get him playing time. I don't know how many snaps he was out there, but I think it was more snaps in the A&M game than he had all season. But again, I mean, I also think he was in there for a couple other series. He did well. He did well for a couple other series. It's just that that one.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't notice him. I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting to see how many snaps they play. Here's the other thing that I don't understand. We had just ran a 10-play drive with our starters sitting over on the bench tired. I mean, they can't get tired over on the bench, can they?
Hey, game 5 and you're in an air-conditioned stadium, there's no reason to be tired. You can't. That's just an excuse now.
I don't think it was a matter of the starters being tired. I think that the coaches, that the coaching staff thought they would get the backups out there because they'd played well to that point, and then they would substitute the starters back in. If they didn't go 3 and out, or if there was 1 first down, you get the starters back in. But you have to either call a timeout or the offense has to substitute for that to happen. And that's where the Aggies struck. They saw the opportunity. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due to Colin Klein. They did not substitute, and they forced Arkansas into a position where they'd already burned a timeout. They must be thinking, do we use a timeout to substitute? We'll only have 1 left in the game's in the last 7-8 minutes. But that was the drive where really push came to shove.
Well, that was the ball game.
Yeah.
And we had just scored, had the momentum, 7-something minutes left in the game. You got to have your best players out there. I mean, that's a coaching decision, and that's what frustrates us as fans. The silly coaching decisions that cost us games year after year after year. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Double D. 877-377-6963.
Well, the coaches can't make the plays for you. I thought a dead giveaway on that field goal when you call a timeout, the other team, you're going to huddle up and you're going to say alert fake. That's kind of what you're doing. I think that would have been better if we didn't have to call a timeout. And sometimes when you're running a fake, you don't put your normal field goal block out. I mean, your field goal protection out there. Maybe you slide another guy in because you are running that fake. But yeah, you call a timeout and then you go and run it. I like the play. I just wish they wouldn't have had to call a timeout and do that. And I think our field goal kicker, I mean, he hit another one for, I believe it was about 50 yards again.
I would try to take the points.
First half,
be happy with one successful fake.
I'll never understand. First half, a one possession game. I don't know what analytics you're looking at, guys. First half, one possession game, you always take your points. Always take your points. It's a bloodbath out there. It's a knife fight, man. Keep it going. Keep running the ball. Take your points.
And as far as putting it on the coaches, and I guess talking about it being on Travis Williams, other defense played incredibly
Defense
well.
played a B-plus game.
They really played well. I mean, you're going up against an Aggies team that averages over 250 rushing yards, almost 6 rushing yards a game. Held them to a buck 34 on the ground at 3.5 per game. It's just in a low-scoring game like that, it is going to come down to one drive. And in that moment, the Aggies saw an opening. Klein struck. He made the right decisions. I can't put it on coaching because until that point, I think those backups were a reason, not a fluke, a reason why Arkansas's defense had played so well up until that point. So, I mean, we're going to throw blame on there, but at that moment, Klein certainly had the right decision, and they struck when they saw a chance, Matt.
Hey, Elko had a plan for us on offense, and I thought if you want to break it down into different groups, now I know you win and lose as a team. Defense a B, maybe a B plus, but definitely a B because you held A&M to 21 points. Now you didn't get a turnover, but you were able to get some sacks. So hey, I give it a B plus. Offense was a C minus. I mean, just we had a little bit going early. And then we were moving the ball. Then you'd kind of get a penalty. Something would happen, and you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. But, yeah, no excuses. This one was on the offense. And you even got a special teams play, a little trickery, a little something that's a bonus spin, a little bonus, and still couldn't get it done.
Got a punt that went out of the 1 yard line. I mean, that was about as fluky as it gets, and well done, Devin Bale. But, yeah, and I think part of the frustration here, and I mean, just sort of looking for who to blame in this case, is also that you have seen this game before against Texas A&M, and you feel like you've seen a lot of these different situations before over the past 3 seasons with Arkansas struggling as they are in close ball games. Celebrate autumn in the natural state. They've got big doings going on at Crabtree RV Center for the big fall sale starting October 10th, running through the 13th. You're going to have door prizes as soon as you walk in, special deals on RVs and trailers. They're knowledgeable, experienced staff on hand. They'll answer every single question you have about their RVs on lot. They'll find the perfect trailer or RV for your families at Crabtree RV, where I-40 and I-49 come together near the Cracker Barrel in Alma, and online at crabtreerv.com. Back with more halftime in just a moment.
His mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
She says she don't like rock and roll life. She says I drink so much, go to bed too late. She said I got no time for her anymore. Sit around so long, strumming my guitar, telling her things I've never told her before. Guess it's just all I know, baby girl.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, for those who have moved on to basketball, even those who haven't moved on to basketball and are just sort of interested in something dealing with basketball in the next couple of weeks, they officially announced their tip-off tour. Hot Springs, Banco ZK Arena, October 12th. Pine Bluff Convention Center, October 13th. There are various ticket packages, anywhere from $30 for a general admission seat, meet and greet for $75. Got a cool thowel laying around. You can lay it down, you get 8 seats, each $1,000. You get pictures, autographs, get to meet with Cal. So, that's interesting because of NCAA regulations. I guess the NCAA still has rules that they'll try to enforce. Students in grades 7 through 12 are not allowed to participate in the $1,000 per seat option. You think some people have already moved on to basketball, Matt?
Well, it's not time yet. It's not time. There's a game coming up this Saturday against one of the best teams in the country. You get at home, Tennessee.
So this is your chance to
go
like
2-1.
derail another team's perfect season. Now,
You're
right?
2-1 in conference play if you win that game. Then you get a bye week, and you got an LSU Mississippi State game that what LSU is going to be comparable to Texas A&M in talent in what they do. I like their quarterback a little better. I think their offensive system's a little better, but. That's a game you get at home. You got to win some home games. It's still in front of you. It's still in front of you. Now you get beat 50-10 October 5th against Tennessee. Then it's bye week. It's basketball season. Come on down.
Matt, why in your mind do you think? So here's another thing I'm taking from what we've seen this season, not just this game against A&M, but what we've seen this season. Bobby Petrino is not a magician just by his presence. All right, that was the biggest thing that happened in the offseason, absolutely, sure. But just his presence doesn't automatically turn a rebuilt offensive line into a strength and does not automatically turn a quarterback that's got issues with accuracy into, Jaden Daniels all of a sudden, by the way. Did you see he has set a record for completion percentage in any 4-game stretch in NFL history? I did not see that one coming either.
No, I was off on that one. I'll definitely claim that one. I did not think his success would come this quick, and the success he's having in NFC East, which is, the Giants are horrible. The Cowboys are pedestrian. The Redskins might be the best team in that division.
But he also, right now, is trying to figure out a way to move the ball with an offensive line that does not pass protect, that just free rushers are coming in on 4 and 5 situations. Why then are you throwing it 41 times? And really not throwing it 41 times because there were more dropbacks called, considering the number of rushes that Green had. He had 13 rushes, and not all of them are designed runs. Some of them is just running for his life. So let's just throw a number out and say that there might have been, 26 designed runs and 45 called passes. This does not appear to be an offensive line that you would be trusting to pass block 45 times. Why?
I did see we threw a screen one time, and I think we got a first down on it. That's another thing that can help against the blitz is any type of delay, any type of draw, in any type of screen. Where's that game? Where's that going on? But when it's a one possession game and you got the workhorses that you do and you know that our strength is running the ball, I'm with you. I wrote that down in the third quarter. It's like, why are we getting away from running the ball? And sometimes it's 3rd and 11 again. Sometimes your Ty Washington jumps offside. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes it's a penalty, and so you kind of get forced into calling a play to try to get a first down and not really running what you want to run. We didn't play as a clean a game as that you need to play to beat teams that have a lot of talent. You can't lose the penalty battle and then lose the turnover battle 3-0. Kind of surprised we kept it as close as we did.
He's got to be frustrated. I don't really know what every team that Bobby Petrino has coached, either as the head coach or just as the OC, has been like. But I can't imagine that he's had to deal too often in his mind with thinking that my pass protection right now is getting worse by the week, and we're facing better teams every single week. How am I supposed to handle this? I kept thinking, though, Matt, and it was based on the Auburn game, that this is a team that can play. We're going to muck this thing up. We're going to turn this into an ugly game at the line of scrimmage. And, hey, you're going to stop us behind the line of scrimmage, but guess what? We're going to stop you right at the line or at the 1-yard line. And we'll play field position, and sooner or later, we're going to make a play, whether on special teams or defense. We'll get a short field, and we'll run it, and we'll get in there. That to me, seems like the kind of game this team can play. But they haven't tried to play that kind of game yet, and I think maybe this last Saturday was an opportunity to do it.
Well, I thought the defense and that's part of the game in the fourth quarter. Defense gets tired, you give it to your horse, and that's what A&M did, and they were able to run the ball a little bit at the end of the game. But for the most part, man, and I wrote this down in 2 different quarters, our run fits were great. Man, our safeties were coming up. We were flying around. You were limiting the explosive plays. You were coming up and tackling. Loved the way the defense flew around. Really did. I thought Landon Jackson's best game this year as a Razorback. And then the other thing, man, you get man coverage, Taylor Green to Armstrong, that timing's impeccable. I mean, he can throw it to him. It's like you put him one-on-one, timing and route running beats, a great throw. That beats coverage, and that's what they were able to do. There was at least 3 times that he's looking to Armstrong on third down, and he's manned up, and it's a good throw. Perfect throw, good catch. Armstrong catches it with his hands, strong hands, and gets the first down. Just gotta find some other plays that are out there and be a little more consistent.
877-377-6963. Calls and texts on halftime. Jared's here in Russellville. Hey, Jared, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Or I guess technical morning still. Hey, there's a couple things I just want to talk about real quick. About the game Saturday. I think the whole deal on our defense played absolutely fantastic. Landon Jackson, like you said, did awesome. On the offensive side of the ball, I think one thing we have to understand in the offseason, we did hire what everyone around here believes is the best offense coordinator around. He's nationally known as the top five offensive coordinator in the country, right? But you have to look back at 2007 when he was here his first time. He didn't score more than 4 touchdowns in any one game his first season here. His offense is complex. I mean, it's very complex. These guys are thinking on the fly, and they're trying to do things that maybe they're not. I don't know if they're necessarily comfortable with. I don't know, but I think he's going to dial back some of that, and I think he's going to completely simplify the game plan moving forward. I think they're just going to hand the ball off to. We have 2 really good, big, physical running backs that need to touch the ball. I think Russell needs to touch the ball at least 10 times a game. I know DeQuinn Jackson needs to touch it at least 20 times a game. And so there's 30 snaps right there. If you give those workhorses, and what they do best is our offensive line does best is pass not pass block. They're terrible with that, but they can do an adequate job at run blocking. So I think that's the game plan moving forward. I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say about that.
Let me go in on this based on the idea of the complexity of this, because where the struggle seems to be is pass blocking, maybe some assignments, and figuring out where the rusher is coming from. Is that a matter, Matt, of complexity? Are the blocking schemes too complex, or are they just getting beaten in situations where they probably shouldn't get beaten on the line?
We had a kick 2 protection, we had a jet 2 protection, then you go 3 and 5 for the left side, right side like that, and one of them is a man protection, one of them is a zone block protection where maybe you're leaving a tackle one-on-one. So I don't know what their scheme is, how they're passing things off, who they're pointing, if it's always man, how they're getting down to it, but something's been on film, and they're able to put to kind of, I don't know if it's tricking the tackle or whoever you're kind of confusing to making them think there's 2. Was it Blackstone? Is he our right tackle? So
Blackstock.
Blackstock. So I see it coming. He takes a step down to get the guy coming from the inside, and then he sees the guy late coming to the outside, and then he takes a step right to get him and misses both guys. It's like, well, and then he goes and he falls on the football because it would have been a sack fumble. But so that was the best thing he did all day. It's like, what you got to be aggressive and make your play. That's the other thing. Is if you're in between 2 minds and you take one step and then you see another and take another, then you're not helping anybody out.
877-377-6963. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap up our first hour of halftime right after this.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
11,000 off on remaining 2023 GMC Sierras, or up to 7,000 off on remaining GMC Yukon XLs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. These are the largest factory discounts in years, so hurry before they're gone. Plus up to 6,500 off on in-stock 2024 GMC Sierras. Conquer the road with confidence in a GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Cabot Saturday, October 12th through Sunday, October 13th. On Saturday, doors are open from 9 a.m. to 5 and Sunday from 9 to 3. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for veterans, military, and police. Children 16 and under are free. American Patriot Promotions, providing the #1 gun shows in Arkansas. Check us out, AmericanPatriotPromotions.com for other events and details.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Here we are at Road Chevrolet once again, another month underway. It's back to school time, people going back to work, they need reliable transportation, and luckily, Grant Neal and the guys at Road Chevrolet are here to take care of you with a great selection.
We really work hard to source the best quality used cars. Thankfully, new car sales are picking up, which means that we're getting our new cars as trade-ins, which is the best quality used car we can come across. So we're really proud to have a great selection right now. Across the board, you know, Honda, Ford, Toyotas, we try to carry a large selection and at every price point. So we've got cheaper cars for lower budgets as well as practically new, miles under 1,000 miles used vehicles.
So if you need something you can trust, something you can be proud of, this is the place to be. Road Chevrolet. It's 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren. You know, we always say, prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I need your understanding, I need your love so much. You tell me that you love me so, you tell me that you care, but I need you, baby. On the phone, long distance, always through such strong resistance. First you say you're too busy, I wonder if you even miss me. Never there, you're never there, you're never, ever there.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
That's right, getting some cake for lunch before you've even had your main course. Dessert can be a main course every once in a while. That's all right. Brian's here in Ozark. Let's take a quick call from Brian and basically know the direction these things go. Brian, yeah, the clear the throat. That should come before we put you on, though. But hey, what's going on?
How are y'all doing?
Fantastic. Love these Mondays.
So, yeah, I'm sure you don't love this Monday, but I don't know. Monday's good or bad. Anyway, hey, the last caller said that Bobby Petrino was the top 5 offense coordinator. I totally disagree with that because what I've seen the last 4 games, these defenses have adjusted easily through in and throughout the game to Bobby's offense. And my concern for Arkansas would they haven't seen elite teams yet, but these next 5 out of 6 games, all have elite defenses and elite offenses. So what's Arkansas going to have to do to even compete? And I'm just going to hang up and listen. I don't see them winning either.
LSU, Mississippi State, I'm not going to say they have elite defenses. I think the others do. Ole Miss's offense wasn't any good this weekend against Kentucky, but their defense was really good. But this also this goes to the point, and I said this about Dan Enos at times last year, like the offensive coordinator can't block.
Well, what you can do is you can't ask the guys to do stuff they're not capable of doing. You got to put them in a situation where look, kid, look, son, look, whatever your name is. If you can't do it, I either got to get somebody else in that can do it, or we got to have a different scheme. You got to have help, meaning a zone scheme instead of a man. So whatever you got to do. You can't ask players to do things they're not capable of.
And I feel like part of Green's issue with accuracy right now has to be that he's
got happy feet a little bit.
He's got to feel that the moment the ball is headed towards him from Addison Nichols, that somebody's going to be right in his face, and that's been the case. Not even somebody that's been pushing and straining to get there, just a free runner off the edge or right down the middle. I mean, who else would be able to complete 65 or 60% of their passes when in the back of your mind, it's not a matter of, oh, I've got to stand in the pocket and take the hit. No, the receiver can't even get to the middle of the route before Green's flushed out and running for his life. So unfortunately, and I mean, even last year they really weren't able to run the ball successfully. Right now, I think they do. And there's something to work with Jaquindon Jackson and definitely with Braylon Russell and certainly with Green as well. But I think part of this is also, Matt, built on the RPO. And I wonder about RPO right now because it's the same as a passing down. It's just as soon as you're at that mesh point, they had a defensive end right in their face. And it's like It's like a 50-50 choice at that point. Somebody's about to get blown up. You just hope you make the right choice, and it's not the ball. And it was the ball that got blown up inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, as a defensive end right there, you're taught to get you're going to split both the middle of them and shade towards that right side of the running back. So you're still kind of getting both of them, but you're on the right side of the running back, and then you're going right to it. And if the ball's out there and you can see it, that's what they're taught to do. It's just bad execution on offense. You can't, in no world in the history of running the option, does it ever say, let's put the ball out here and let everybody see it and have a slow mesh point?
Hey, see this ball right here?
That's not
the laces.
Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to be run. So that's coaching or execution or whatever design, because in no football 101 option book does it say that.
I like to be optimistic and say things are about to get better. But and Brian's right about this. I mean, I don't think anybody in the country has a 7-game stretch coming up like Arkansas does. So from right when the season started, it's more difficult opponents on a week-by-week basis, pretty much after week 3. And I think that is the case going into week number 6, in which you're facing a team that has designs on an SEC and a national title. Hour number 2 of halftime in just a moment. Stay with us.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, And in the past decade as a roofing contractor, he knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with Always On Energy. Visit AOGC.com.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see increasing sunshine. Our high this afternoon in the low to mid 80s, mainly clear overnight, low near 60 tonight. On Tuesday, back to sunshine. Our high on Tuesday in the low 80s. And Wednesday, lots of sun. Highs on Wednesday will be right around 80 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that would respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Take it to the house. Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. And vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
These Mondays roll along just like 3 hours on halftime, man. It's moving pretty quickly already. Welcome back on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson here. My partner, Matt Jones. C Movie Burger Unit, Kristen Johnston is producing. And we got another wide open hour. We won't even be talking to Mike Irwin until 1:15. So now's the time to get on. 877-377-6963. Matt and I will be doing 3 up, 3 down in this hour. And about 9 minutes, the second to last game of the regular Major League Baseball season begins, Matt. This is craziness today in Atlanta. I brought it up last week that if the last 2 spots of the National League playoff race was not decided before yesterday ends, and yesterday was the last day of the regular season, there's going to be a doubleheader in Atlanta with the Mets and Braves to figure out who will be the last 2 teams. And both these teams are in contention. The other team that's a part of this is just waiting around in Phoenix, the Arizona D-backs. And they must hate this situation too, because if these teams split the doubleheader, then you end up with the D-backs going to the playoffs along with the team that wins. If there's a sweep, then the D-backs go. But neither of these teams needs a sweep to get in. Whatever team wins the first game today is in and has no incentive whatsoever to even try to win game 2. Like, use any of your better relievers. You can start pinch hitters at positions and everything. And there's, again, because they have to play the next day. Like, One of these teams, or even both of them, will be playing tomorrow on the road in the playoffs. So it's almost like they're planning for a split, just so both of them can make it, and then the D-backs just sitting waiting around thinking what might have been. But this feels unprecedented. Nobody else is playing today. 2 games with 2 teams, and they only need to win one of these games. And it starts about 7 minutes.
One of the coolest things about the Premier League not only is relegation and promotion, but the very last day of the season, Phil, everybody plays their game at the exact same time just for this scenario right here.
I think, don't they do that in the NFL now? And I think baseball started that 2 years ago.
This is not acceptable. This is not cool. Every way you put it, that's going on, man. That's not. I mean, baseball should be ashamed. I mean, it's like they don't even try or they don't even care, because that shouldn't be happening. A game like that with so much on the line, 2 franchises having, and then you kind of know what's going. Yeah, it just doesn't. Something seems a little fishy.
Well, it was the days of the storm last week. Was the days that those games were scheduled, and they could have moved those games. That's the thing. Like, they could have moved those games to any other locale that wasn't dealing with weather if the commissioner would have mandated it. Like I said, I mean, the commissioner's office in baseball has a, it's in the actual, I guess you call it, constitution of the sport, that you can do anything that he deems in the right interests of baseball. I think that would have been the right interest of baseball, rather than have 2 teams play 18 innings the day before one or both of them is going to go out and play in the playoffs. But obviously, I think they're more looking out for the bottom line of the owners, and a doubleheader with the gate is probably a little more interesting to them anyway.
Well, and one of my favorite all-time basketball players, Mount Mutombo, he probably known to a different generation, Phil, for his commercials. When people that the younger generation, but that Denver Nuggets team that was an 8 seed and beat the Seattle Supersonics.
That was one of the great upsets.
And he's holding the ball, laying down on the ground, sweat going everywhere. He was on that. We forget he was on that Philadelphia 76ers team with Allen Iverson that made her run to the finals. Top 4 defensive centers all time. Dikembe Mutombo would be on the list. No,
4-time winner of the NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
I think when he retired, Phil, he was 2nd all time in blocks. I don't know what it is now, but yeah, no, his defensive centers. He was and he was kind of infectious. If with his laugh and his smile, he's kind of like a big kid, man. Yeah, lost a good one.
I first remember Mutombo as one of those great centers in the line of Georgetown centers.
Oh, Patrick Ewing, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Alonzo
Mourning. Yeah, I mean, even Al Harrington, too.
Harrington.
Not quite on that level.
Yeah.
You got a couple of Hall of Famers there. Is Mourning in the Hall?
Big, Zoe, they won that championship. I think he had a kidney disease. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was or not.
Well, it's like Penn State and linebackers.
LeVar Harrington
is Georgetown and centers.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily what you think of anymore, but it's what we're thinking if you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and all of that. All right, we got a couple callers on hold. Let's go to Charlie. Good afternoon, Charlie. How's your Monday?
Oh, well, Phil.
Wow, that gives me an answer. The deep breath and the Phil says, no, my Monday sucks. Thanks for asking.
You know what, Dikembe Mutombo, I will say this, man. He used to have some of the funniest commercials, too, where he would be running through, no. I mean, I don't care, man. He's one of my favorites to watch, too. Definitely unbelievable player, especially defensively, Matt, like you said. And, definitely. Y'all said he passed away, right? Is that what?
Yeah, it was brain cancer.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, that sucks. I hate that for he and his family, but man, it's just I don't know what to say about Arkansas. I feel like I don't know what we call this horror movie series that they had down there in Jerry World for the past however many years, but it didn't end well for Arkansas ever, other than one time. I'm glad it is over. But I'm not going to blame it on Jerry World or anything like that. I just think at the end of the day, it comes down to what you guys have been saying. Look, Ty brought up something this morning, and I want to ask you guys this. What's much different from this team than last year's team? The only thing that I can see that's different is we run the ball better. Other than that, you still got the same issues where your quarterback is running for his life. And I don't want to hear about, you're just letting guys through. No, they didn't block well at all in any way you put it on Saturday. You can't block anybody. Your quarterback's running for his life. He's not confident in any Matt Jones, if you're Taylor Green right now, you're inside of his head. I get it. You said something about letting it look. If my number one read is not Andrew Armstrong on the play, I don't know if I'm likely a little afraid to let that thing go at this point. No offense to Tyrone Broden, but unless he's just blocking better than everyone, at this point, to me, our top three is Armstrong, obviously, Tesla, and Tatania. And these tight ends, they don't look right. Don't look right. I know we want to get him the ball, but he hasn't looked right.
Something looks like it's up with his back. You could see it happen. Again, it's the second time he's gone off the field this year, holding his lower back on his right side. So something's up there. I don't know what it is, but you can just tell.
And then, guys, the defense is playing their tails off. I know they gave up the touchdown there, but Phil, you said the start. You can't keep the starters in the whole game, and they got us in the look there with the backup D-line. Maybe we should have called timeout. I don't know. But, look, at the end of the day, giving up 21, you got to find a way to score more than 17 points. When you guys think about the Alabama-Georgia game, what a freaking classic of a game. And Georgia's going to be fine. They're going to still be in this thing. And but, yeah, man, Saturday doesn't look great. I'm glad I started drinking before the game Saturday. I wasn't as upset. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Well, it's a 6:30 kickoff this Saturday, Charlie, so have at it again, I guess. Dwayne's up next. He's in Fayetteville, 877-377-6963. Hey, Dwayne, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you getting me on the show. I guess I'm going to kind of be piggybacking off of Charlie, but the caller earlier, trying to blame us on Bobby Petrino. It's kind of hard to call in and not talk about the dominance of the defensive line at Texas A&M. I've been in every game except the Auburn game this year. And, man, there's the plays are there. There's all kinds of receivers running open in the field. But, just like Charlie was saying, the quarterback's running for his life back there. However, he's still got to make good decisions, though, too. Throwing the ball across the field and throwing an interception. If you can't make the throw, then you got to live for another down. But, the dominance on the line is usually what wins a game. And we just couldn't stop the defense. And my question would be, what if we built a pocket around our quarterback like Texas A&M was? I mean, how do you think the outcome of the game would be at that point would be my question.
Okay, but it just seems, Dwayne, it just seems too simple to say we'll build a pocket around our quarterback when the issue right now is pass blocking. I'm not quite sure how to bring the fact of struggling to pass block with let's build a pocket around him.
That's the problem. We just can't. We're not pass blocking good enough. I mean, because if we were, I feel like the outcomes would be different.
Part of what I struggle with right now is the hope that it's going to get better. I mean, there are no trades. The portal's not open. It's a matter of you got to get better at what you do, or you got to figure out a way around the weakness, and that's up to the coach to try to figure that out. The offensive coordinator specifically.
Sure, and I agree with that. But I did see some things that he was trying to do to help with the rush. But man, you can only do so much too.
That's right. I think every starter, heck, not even every starter. I mean, there were 8 quarterback hurries for A&M. That's independent of any of the sacks. I think anybody that was on the defensive line, anybody that was up at the line of scrimmage for A&M, they had at least one quarterback hurry or got to the quarterback. It's a rough place because you can't pinpoint it on it's just this one side or it's over the middle or it's on the other side. It was the entire thing. It was the entire thing is where pressure was coming from. Dwayne, thanks for the phone call. And Robert in Boonville is up next. Hey, Robert, thanks for calling halftime. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm like everybody else. I am disappointed that we're not 5-0. We could have easily been 5-0. but I'm not disappointed in the team. I'm just disappointed. I want you to think about something. Because I don't know the answer to this, and you probably don't either. But how many teams in the SEC have less talented players than Arkansas? And there's not many. So I contend that this team already has overachieved. Now, I know they've got to win 3 more games to make a bowl. That may or may not happen. They'll have to get some good luck. But I'm proud of them because I think they've overachieved with the amount of talent they have. What do you think?
I would hate for the idea of a 2-2 record against Division I football teams to be overachieving. I really would. For a team that won 1 SEC game last year, they've won 1 now, so that's the same as last season. I get that. I don't feel like they've overachieved. I think a lot of people feel like a 3-2 record is exactly where they thought they would be, and that maybe some of the same issues that you dealt with last year, some of the same issues that you would have dealt with this year. But I'm not here. I don't think they've overachieved. I kind of think. I think it's played that so far the season has played right into expectations for most people as far as wins and losses. The problem is that you feel, just like you'd said, Robert, you get an opportunity if things go in the right direction in both the losses here that you would be 5-0. And I've said this for so long, I believe this to be utter truth. Just because you consistently lose close games doesn't really mean you're that close to being a great team or a good team. When you lose close games consistently, that means that's what you are. It means you're a team that's just good enough to lose close games. And right now, that's what Arkansas is right now in these 2 losses. And that's what they've been, unfortunately, for the last 3 years. It's not the place you want to be. I don't think it's the expectations, though. Robert, I appreciate the phone call. Thanks a lot. 877-377-6963 to get with us. Matt, expectations. Is this, 3-2, honestly, that's about what I think a lot of people thought. It's just that you feel you might have left 2 more wins out there.
Yeah, it's the way we went about it. This team, no question, is better than last year's team. The talent-wise, there's enough talent on this team to be competitive and to win games. No moral victories, though. Oklahoma State, what do we have, 3 turnovers against Oklahoma State? 3 turnovers against – we're beating ourselves. That's the thing. How many turnovers did Texas A&M have? 0. That's when we got to get to –
And you know how many turnovers they have for the season? I think they have 5. I think they have 2. I think it's just 2. That's a team that's who they are. What is Arkansas right now? A team that turns it over. After 5 games, you kind of are what you are right now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Here's what we are, about to take a break and more halftime after this.
They were so convincing in their argument. They swung me.
This is halftime.
On 2nd down, the give is to Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in midfield. He may go. 25 to 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The Dandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Bet online.
I see it. 4 W's. What would Wes want? Billy, you're brilliant.
Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
To make the rockin' world go round. Was just a scan, never knew no good from bad, but I knew life before I left the screen. Left alone with big fat facts was such a naughty day. You made a for
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Thought it would be a good moment to maybe lighten the mood for a brief moment here on a Monday on Halftime, 2 days after another loss in the Southwest Classic. Some of you may have noticed this on the Learfield pregame on Saturday. We just got a text from Jamie in Fayetteville who heard this and felt the need to bring it up on our text line, which is 877-377-6963. Even got some tweets about this. And I mean, hey, it's out there, so might as well just admit to it and turn it into a moment here on Halftime. There are 17, I think there are 17 named trophies for Big Ten rivalries, anywhere from the Land of Lincoln Trophy for Illinois and Northwestern, or Floyd of Rosedale between Iowa and Minnesota, or the Land Grant Trophy, which is the winner of Michigan State and Penn State. We were in a segment back in the Learfield studios where Zach, our studio engineer, was going through some of the scores. And at that point, I think it was the Minnesota-Michigan game that was on, and it's the Little Brown Jug. And I think he called it the Dirty Brown Jug instead of the Little Brown Jug. And after that, he sends it back to me and Rick, and I thought I'd bring up some of the other trophy names that I'm very fond of when it comes to the Big Ten. I went to Indiana for a couple years, so I remember when they played Purdue, and they were fighting over an Old Oaken bucket. So notice how many of these things you actually can fit like whiskey inside. So the Michigan State game is called Paul Bunyan's Trophy. I think I've heard it. No, it's Minnesota-Wisconsin. Everybody wants to fight over something involving Paul Bunyan. The Minnesota-Wisconsin game is for Paul Bunyan's axe. but I left out the X, and I did say it. They were fighting over Paul Bunyan's ass, and then I've corrected myself, but the word was already out there. So, broadcast. They don't have errors in football. I guess you could throw a 15-yarder on the pregame host. It was funny for a brief moment.
Yeah, that's funny. It's Paul Bunyan has to have suspenders, right? Like he's probably got a big old, britches.
All I know is when you see like the giant statue of him, I would much rather be looking at his axe than the other thing. It's way too tall. Not the angle anybody needs. 877-377-6963. All right, Joey's got a text in here, and he says, what we are is a 3-2 football team that's much improved and hopefully can take care of business and get to 6 wins in a bowl game. He says, unrealistic expectations are killing the team. Folks calling for Sam's job and wanting to start from scratch again. And I understand all of that, and I think you're right in a lot of cases. But you are in a league where it's understood getting to 6 wins is a little more difficult than in most other leagues, if not all of them. So where do the other 3 wins come from now? If we're looking to hopefully get to 6, where do the other 3 come from? Mississippi, you had to win A&M. Like that's how I went into this week with feeling you have to win this game. You absolutely now 100% have to beat Mississippi State. You're going to beat Louisiana Tech. Where are the other wins coming from?
You just need 1 more, right, or 2 more?
At that point, you need 1 more. You beat Mississippi State. You beat La Tech. You're at 5. You need another one.
Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas, Missouri. I would say Ole Miss and LSU are your best chances to get a win out of all those teams, Phil, both of those games being at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your next 6 are at home. I mean, you got to – that would be a great chance to win 3. If you can do that, if you can go 3-2 in your next 6, you're getting 5 games there in Fayetteville. Texas, Tennessee, the 2 orange teams that start with the letter T, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see us beating those 2 teams.
Like those are.
I think it could get.
Those are teams you're going to be seeing playing in January for crying out loud.
It could be a massacre October 5th. You got to hope Tennessee is thinking it's a leap year, or they think they got another bye week, because if they're rested and they're ready to go, man, we don't show up and we don't take care of the football. We're liable to get beat by 27. Tennessee's one of the best teams in the country. You better take them for real.
Maybe the Tennessee equipment truck can, make like a wrong turn at Forest City or something. Head north where they didn't mean to, think they're going to Jonesboro and show up at a Red Wolves game instead. Like that might help too. They've already had some really rough luck on I-40 in North Little Rock, which, by the way, I saw some of the Tennessee writers referring to it as north of Little Rock. They actually have a city that's called North Little Rock for those Tennessee writers who are listening right now. And I know it's your favorite program. Seth says, be careful giving a W to the Mississippi State game. I'm not saying that's an automatic win. No, sir. You're not in a place where you can take anything automatically in the SEC.
Not with 3 turnovers a game. You go out there and turn the ball over 3 times against Starkville, they'll beat you. That's got to get cleared up. We're talking about offensive line play. We got to clear that up. But, Phil, the turnover game, that's got to be clear. That has to be number 1 point of emphasis this week. Everybody carry a football with you to class. Well, if you're a skill position guy, you cannot turn the ball over and expect to beat anybody in the SEC.
Let me ask you about the turnovers from this game. So there was the one where you can see he just tried to make a throw. I think it was towards Broden, underthrew it. There were two defenders in the way. That one was on Taylon Green. The one on the mesh point on the RPO at the 10-yard line, I felt that's more on the offensive line than anybody else. And then the other one, the last play that Arkansas had defensively, and this one felt like a surprise because Taylon by that point had been, just careening towards the sideline all game long to try to avoid the rush. But I guess, I don't know what it's like to try to feel the pass rush coming on you, but Scorton got to him, knocked it loose, and that was the last turnover. Up until that point, I felt he had felt the rush fairly well. But maybe Matt is just, he knew it was the last drive and he's just trying to make a play and held on to it for just a split second too long.
Well, I had a coach, Roy Wickey. We were talking one year, and if you throw an interception with 2 seconds to go at the end of the first half, and because you're throwing a Hail Mary, that's really not it goes down as an interception. You throw an interception at the end because you got to throw it up. I'm talking about in the flow of the game, having the turnovers. You got to kind of each thing is situationally. I thought Taylon Green, he gets rushed a little bit. So what was happening, it's a great idea by Elko, but you're sending those defensive ends a little bit wider because Taylon doesn't want to run up the middle, so to speak. So you have them kind of going a little bit wider out there. And as soon as Taylon sees the free runner, he just takes off to one of those sides. And then you're just running him to the sideline. He's the best thing to stop that, or the thing as a quarterback, you got to get vertical as quick as you can. You running sideline to sideline, you're not going to beat anybody in this league.
And you could see, and this was something that I remember Mike Elko speaking about last week. There was always somebody, a linebacker or maybe a defensive end that was kind of hanging out back behind by the line of scrimmage, maybe 3 yards or so, just watching Green, watching him towards the sideline, and the moment that he might take a step up vertically,
fire.
That's when they're coming at him. So he could see that spy, and that has to go into a main reason why A&M won this game was the defensive scheme of how to spy on Taylon Green, how to keep him in that pocket, because they did it in ways that no other team has done yet. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts here on Halftime. Monday Night Football tonight. 2 games, that's right. You can watch them both over at Twin Peaks in Rogers. Football and Fireballs, a match made in heaven. And, of course, at Twin Peaks, they've got your favorite cinnamon whiskey Fireball ready for you all throughout Monday Night Football. That's at Twin Peaks in Rogers, your sports headquarters. They got the 29-degree draft beer made from scratch fan favorites and sports blasting from every single angle. Twin Peaks is located in Rogers or online at twinpeaksrestaurant.com. More TVs, bigger screens, and, of course, their famous scenic views. Always more to watch at Twin Peaks. Stay with Halftime. We are back right after the break.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
This is Halftime.
Folks, here we are at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway. Grant, Neal, it's truck season at Road Chevrolet. You got 1.9% for well-qualified buyers on the 2024 Silverado 1500.
Absolutely. So we've got continuing great rebates coming out with great financing offers from GM Financial. You can get up to $7,000 off of a new Silverado right now with that 1.9% financing available on certain models. And a deferral for 90 days on payment. So 3 months without having to make a payment is pretty nice going into the holiday season.
And the great thing about that, it's in addition to the 1.9%. It's not or, it's plus.
Yeah, we're glad to see that the manufacturer and GM Financial stepping up and really getting the great deals. You know, September's the beginning of cooler season of the holidays. It's football season, and we're excited to have the excitement in the air.
So do a little tailgating this football season on the back of your new Silverado from Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Yeah, my heart, why don't you play? When you don't really love me, you just keep me hanging
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
All right, moving right along here. Let's do a little 3 up, 3 down for things that we saw this weekend that we liked, things we saw this weekend we did not like. Not too much of this has to do with the Razorback game, but if you want to get on with us about Arkansas football or anything else, 877-377-6963. First up for me, Matt Jones, Haj Malik Williams. He got to play quarterback for UNLV because Matthew Sluka did not want to play quarterback any longer for the Rebels. And Williams helps the Rebels to their first 4-0 start since 1976. 59-14 over Fresno State. Williams, who is a sixth-year senior, transferred from the Campbell Camels to UNLV. 182 yards passing, 119 rushing, 4 total touchdowns, and they'll get 3-1 Syracuse Friday night. So one of the receivers was asked after the game what he thought about it, and he said, well, I think this quarterback is better than our last one. First down for me, and I guess it'd be more of an up, but it's down because he beat my Steelers. Again, Joe freaking Flacco.
Did you hear this stat? Phil, you might have heard this stat. So Anthony Richardson's mom is 8 days older than Joe Flacco.
It's just it's a bit much, isn't it? I saw he told the CBS reporter that after the game.
Said nobody thinks, he doesn't think I'm cool.
There's no way I'm cool if his mom is 8 days older than me.
That's funny.
All right, what do you got? Your first up, your first down.
Let's see. First up, OMG. Let's go Mustangs. The Fighting Rhett Lashleys getting it done. 42-16 in Tallahassee, making the Seminoles like it. Wow. Would have never have thunk that. Would have never. So, man, big shout out to Coach Rhett Lashley. Always pulling for, former players and former teammates of mine. So that was pretty cool right there.
Get Louisville coming up next.
That's who Louisville, Notre Dame. I think that's who I mean, you start looking around. You think Rhett Lashley would be. He's got Arkansas ties. He's a little bit different. He's an offensive guy. Could you see him being the next coach of the Razorbacks?
It's kind of interesting. I mean, I guess some of it will have to do and what happens the rest of the season at SMU, or not just this year, but in future seasons.
And then it's a down just because it's a bummer. But one of my favorite defensive centers in the history of the NBA, Dikembe Mutombo. Mount Mutombo, not in here, wave your finger, wag the tail, whatever you want to call it. He passes away. But yeah, was that Jordan who said, "Hey, welcome to the league, Rook," when Mutombo got in and he closed his eyes and shot his free throw? I think that was directed towards Mutombo back in the day. So yeah, but love those Denver Nugget teams. And then even when he played with the Philadelphia 76ers with that Allen Iverson team, that team, no way they make it to the finals if Dikembe's not on that squad.
8-time All-Star, 3 times led the NBA in blocks, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, and yes, a Hall of Famer. 58 years old. That is too young, Matt. Way too young. Second up for me is extending the Major League regular season by 1 day for this Mets-Braves doubleheader in Atlanta. Split, both teams make it. Any sweep means the D-backs make it along with a team that sweeps. But I do think it would have been better if they'd have found a way to play these 2 games last week on the day they were scheduled in any city that was not being trounced by Hurricane Helene. Staying in baseball for my second down, Matt, the Pittsburgh Pirates, for the second year in a row, finished with 76 wins and 86 losses. It's the exact same as the year before. Stop with they got a good team and everything, and none of it matters. They have an exciting rookie. They got a couple exciting pitchers, but it's 4 winning years in the last 32 seasons. So welcome to my world in Major League Baseball fandom.
Just keep me hanging on. There you go, Pittsburgh. So my second up, the Liverpool Reds. You never walk alone. They go into the Wolverhampton Wolves and find a way to sneak out with a 2-1 victory. It was actually a tale of 2 different teams, Phil. You got after 5 games, Liverpool is in first place by a point. After 5 games, the Wolves are in relegation zone. They're in last place. So there's a lot of golf left, so to speak. But Keontae, who is he's a French internationalist who's like a center back or a strong safety, so he's not really expected to score a goal. But he got a header on a set piece. And then Mohamed Salah, who his left foot is up there with being top 5 left foot in the world for the last decade. He got a penalty, so they go 2-1. And then Jets, Jets. I mean, if you like football, and then there's that. I don't know what that was, but that was like the Jets had 9 days to prepare for a rookie quarterback and scored 9 points. Like what? I don't know. Maybe they just, you kind of get into a bye week, things get going a little bit. I think they had 5 false start penalties, which is the most in like the last 5 years on an offense. They were just an absolute mess. That was, you talk about trying to watch a football game. That was hard, but Denver was able to get the victory 10-9.
Third up for me, Jaden Daniels setting the NFL completion percentage record for any 4-game stretch since 1950. He was 26 for 30 against Arizona yesterday with a touchdown and 1 interception. So far, he's completed 82.1% of his passes. That is a record.
It's ridiculous.
For any 4-game stretch in the NFL when you've thrown at least 100 passes or more. Keep in mind, these are the first 4 games that Jaden Daniels has ever played in the NFL. And it's worth saying it here. Top 3 seasons for completion percentage, all by Drew Brees.
Drew Breesy.
2017, 18, and 19, the record is 74.4%. Can't keep that up in your rookie season after 17 games, can you?
I think Chad Pennington might be kind of close up there on the list. Man, what a talent. Absolute talent. He's doing better than what I thought. Cliff Kingsbury's his OC, and he's pretty sharp. And it's, you say that percentage, that completion percentage, there's some long passes too. It's not just all short passes, but yeah, man, what a talent, man. And he's number 5. So I'm pulling for him.
Third down, it'll go to the Razorback pass blocking for this game against A&M. And I wonder what it is. I mean, what is it? because I think that the tackles are better than they were last year. I think overall the offensive line is more talented and are better physically than last year, more experienced as well. So where is the disconnect? Is it a matter of speed? Is it a matter of communication? Is it scheming? Is it coaching? Is it still getting used to SEC level pass rushers, which has just been these last 2 weeks, and these issues have been going for the last 4 weeks. So I don't know what the answers are. I just have questions about this, and anybody would know watching the game, one of your downs would have to be Razorback pass blocking. So that would be my third.
Third up is my Heisman Trophy winner is Travis Hunter. If he just keeps continuing to do what he does, had 9 catches, 89 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. I was kind of tuning into that game to see KJ, so it's kind of a down. Wanted to see KJ have success and do well. UCF is a mess. That's for sure. Colorado beating you 48-21. That's oof. But good victory for the Buffs. And then the third down would be Auburn loses another one at home. We'll see if Hugh Freeze. I guess that could be an up as well, but we'll see if Hugh Freeze makes it through the season. I don't know. I mean, the coach Mike Norvell at Florida State. We'll see if he makes it through. Some say that he will, based on what he's been able to do. But he's lost that Florida State. Whatever has happened in the portal, coach has lost that Florida State team.
Speaking of Hugh Freeze, there are some interesting comments he's had from his Monday press conference, which Sam Pittman should be complete with his presser by now, so maybe can find some updates on that for the next segment. And we'll have Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation coming up about 30 minutes. These are some things that Hugh Freeze said at his presser today. He said every time this is coming from Michael Casagrande, who covers sports at AL.com on his Twitter. Every time he tries to explain, quote, how something really is, unquote, he gets blamed for throwing somebody under the bus. Hugh Freeze said the game plan for Auburn against Oklahoma was one of the best that he's ever seen. Hugh Freeze also talked about what he inherited from the previous coach, never mentioned Brian Harsin by name, but said, quote, I think you know what we inherited, unquote. He also says, quote, we're not that far off. We're going through growing pains, unquote. And then this is the fun stuff. When you start blaming the media, then you know you have nowhere else to blame. The media is into this spiraling, Hugh Freeze said. In life, you don't get to spiral and have success. I don't know. I think he has spiraled before. Seems to be making plenty of money. Not too much success as the head coach at Auburn, though. But, yeah, it's the media that's into this spiraling. Fun stuff coming from him. Always fun stuff coming from him. I mean, I do wonder some of the things that Sam Pittman's talking about for this upcoming game against Tennessee. Injuries, I think, would have to be a concern. Hudson Clark did dress, but I don't remember him getting on the field. So there's another guy that you'd love to get back in the secondary.
Do you redshirt him now? I mean, he only played one game. I mean, I don't know how many years he has left, but if he has a way to redshirt him, I mean, maybe you want him coming back next year.
I wonder also about your tight ends, about Andreas Pashka. I think losing him and his blocking has hurt Arkansas these last 2 games. And there is something up with Haz. So I do wonder a little about is Haz just not being all that involved or not having too many passes thrown his way. Is that about scheme? Is that about the offensive line not pass blocking, or is it something going on with him right now? Because he holds his lower back a lot.
That's what I was going to ask you. You've seen him live, Phil. He doesn't, to me, and I've only seen him, on the TV screen. But I don't know that he looks faster than he was last year. Like, it almost looks like there is something wrong with him. Like maybe, who was number 5 last year? That Diggs had the torn labrum, but he kept playing. It's almost like he's playing through something that's kind of holding him back, but we don't really know what it is.
It does feel like that a little bit. You're right. So I wonder if Sam gets asked about that, because it has been about getting him involved in the passing game, but I think now the question might have to be a little differently posed about, is there something wrong with Luke Haz? We are brought to you, as always, by the Stadium Shop on Razorback. You got basketball coming up in a month. Football season's right in the middle of it. Baseball's not too far away. The Stadium Shop on Razorback has everything you need for your tailgate, for your game day, for man cave, she shed, dorm room. It doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt available at 479 Stadium. Or stop by the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Make sure they know ESPN sent you. You can go online to shoponrazorback.com. And back to wrap up hour number 2 right after this.
This is halftime.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Attention restaurant owners, managers, food service directors, and anyone getting ready to open a new restaurant soon. Don't miss Tankersley's Foods 80th Anniversary 2024 Fall Food Show on Wednesday, October the 2nd at the Fort Smith Convention Center. See, taste, and try items available for your menu starting at 9 a.m. Expand your knowledge with educational seminars starting at 8 a.m. It's the 80th Anniversary 2024 Fall Food Show, Wednesday, October 2nd at the Fort Smith Convention Center. Go to TankersleyFoods.com for details.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Autoglass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Autoglass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Autoglass a call. 782-4441.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I lost my self-control. I love the pictures on the wall. Reminding me of what I lost again.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
All right, here's some quotes from the Sam Pittman press conference, which concluded about 15, 20 minutes ago. Rashad Dubinion is no longer suspended, so you got R-Dub ready to go in the backfield again. They want to use Isaac TeSlaa more. He says he's earned the right to get out there in the field, throw the ball to him. Whether he starts or not, we got to wait and see at the end of the week. I loved what TeSlaa did, and it wasn't just the touchdown catch, Matt. I mean, he found a way to get open over the middle. He is tough, too. He's a tough runner when he gets the football.
Best hands on the team. It's Armstrong. Armstrong's strong too, but yeah, up there with best hands on the team. Maybe that's the guy. He's a big, tall kid. Maybe you think if you had him to Broden, if he had as many targets as Broden, do you think he would be able to put up better number? You know, if you kind of switch them spots and give him 17 targets over the next 4 games, I think you'll be surprised at how well he does.
So is that what you think they might be waiting on for this week to decide whether or not you put TeSlaa in the starting lineup instead of Broden? Because it's 3 games in a row. I mean, Broden caught one ball near the sideline, and I felt like it was even, kind of lucky that he stayed in bounds, and I wonder if he even was in bounds at that. But every other thing that's come towards him, he either has not caught or he's been separated from the ball by the cornerback, which give credit to the defender for the plays they've made on him. But it's, you get a guy that is able to get open in Broden at times, and it's not all him. I know, Green kind of threw behind him a couple times too. But you've got to feel pretty good about TeSlaa if his hands are anywhere near the ball. So, yeah, we'll be paying attention to that this week, I would expect. Sam says it doesn't feel good about Jalen Braxton's return, but does feel better about Hudson Clark. And then, quote, when discussing Arkansas's O-line struggles, quote, I don't think personnel change is going to help us, unquote. And I don't know if it will either.
No, they got their best guys out there. It's just, you get found out. Once you have a weakness and once teams, it shows up on film, you gotta fix the problem, because I guarantee you Tennessee's going to do some of the same stuff Auburn and A&M did.
But it's like you'd said a few days ago, Matt. It's like if Mike Elko watched the tape from Auburn, Arkansas, he's going to do some of the same things. And what he saw was 4-on-5, 4 will win sometimes, win quite a bit. 5-on-5, they're going to win a lot. 5-on-6, the defensive line will win sometimes. And that's what they did this past game too.
Yeah, I thought Elko had a pretty good defensive plan. He was bringing pressure from all areas, like you were saying, and the way they were able to flush him out of the pocket so quick, it's almost the sideline's your friend. And, these defensive ends, that's how you know Taylor Green's a 4-5 guy, 4-6 guy, because these defensive ends are 4-5. If Taylor Green was a 4-3, then he'd be able to get the edge on him. But it's not going to work that way. You can't run East and West in the SEC and expect to beat anybody.
The third hour of halftime includes Mike Irwin from Pig Troll Nation at about 1:15. So we'll be wide open as we get to 1 o'clock. Call us, text us, 877-377-6963. We're back right after the top of the hour.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey and Hole Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see increasing sunshine. Our high this afternoon in the low to mid 80s, mainly a clear overnight low near 60 tonight. On Tuesday, back to sunshine. Our high on Tuesday in the low 80s. And Wednesday, lots of sun. Highs on Wednesday will be right around 80 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
If I'm all right.
Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Jones, man, take it to the house.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Colton Little producing, and we got you for another 60 minutes or so with Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation in about 15 minutes. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. Wanted to check in on this doubleheader with the Mets and Braves to decide the final two teams of the National League postseason picture. Braves up 2-0 in the third. And remember, the team that wins the first game is in. And then they don't have to do a darn thing for the second game. Heck, they could even just forfeit it and go to the playoffs. The other team that they're playing will go to the playoffs as well, and the D-backs will have to just stay home and think what would have been. All right, we do have a caller on hold. Let's go to Keith in Fort Smith, and we'll hash some things out. Keith, I appreciate you holding during that top of the hour break. What's going on?
Hey, all is well here. Glad to be on with Don Slims, a.k.a. Mr. Tall Drink of Water, and Uncle Phil today. Want to go ahead and say what needs to be said now that we got all of the Kool-Aid out of our system. Still can't block. Had a guy in Sam supposed to be the guru of blocking. Well, at the very least, we'll have a good offensive line. And at the very least, we'll be able to recruit that position and get the personnel that can support and protect the quarterback at the SEC level. Round 2, year 2, that not being for sure, 100%. Also, doing the same things that we've done all this time with Sam, where we can't just quite win those close games. Another year of that right there, okay? And I'm going to say, even though we got that punt that looked good on that punt, that fake punt, special teams collapse there with the nonsense, nowhere to be found, didn't make sense when you called it, didn't make sense after it blew up in your face, field goal. All of these things, guys, I'm telling y'all, and then somebody on Hallville talking about, well, y'all said this about this guy, y'all said this about this guy, y'all said this about this guy. Okay, and then somebody else got on there and said, yeah, you're right, we said a few things about some of our former head coaches that when we're done with them at times, so is every other country, so every program in the country. Part of that is Texas did that till they landed on their guy they got right now. So did Alabama. All these programs are trying to find the next little step to get better. Now, I'm going to say this and I'm done. I appreciate Sam. He's done a good job. When we came back, we had nothing in the cupboard. Thank you, Brett. And we lit it all on fire and burned it with Chad. Thank you, Chad. Now, Sam got here, got us back to relevance, got us back to competitiveness, and 5 wins became our Super Bowl. 5 to 6 wins became our Super Bowl. If we could just win 5 or 6 wins. Well, Keith, he got 9 wins that one year. Yeah, I ain't talking about that one year. I'm talking about what we're doing year in and year out. Last thing I'm going to say is this. We got to get a guy that 8 and 9 wins is a Super Bowl, where we're locking in 6 wins every single year. That's the program we got to be. Guys, I appreciate you. Keep on calling the Cogs and walking the walk. Y'all have a great rest of the afternoon. Go Hogs.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate that very much. Got Kevin on hold here too. I mean, that's a frustrated fan. That's a frustrated fan's phone call, and it's certainly understood 2 days after a loss to a rival that you dominated in the Southwest Conference and just couldn't figure it out at all since A&M has joined the league. And it isn't just Sam. It isn't just Sam in that case, because he's the only coach that's beaten them. It's Chad too. It's Brett too. It's John L. Smith. That's 4 coaches that haven't been able to figure out Texas A&M. And historically, Arkansas is a better program. That's part of the toughness, the tough stuff to take of this. In my mind, Arkansas is a better football program historically than Ole Miss, than Missouri, than A&M, than Mississippi State. And right now, the only team you're in front of in terms of where you are in the current moment in those teams is Mississippi State. Kevin has called us up as well. The number is 877-377-6963. Hi, Kevin. What's up?
Hey, Phil. I'm calling you because you are such a big baseball guy, and I'm going back a few days, and I know this is switching gears from football, but, you know, the Oakland Coliseum closing up and the A's playing their last game there. I'm in my 50s, and so I've grown up seeing games in Oakland, and not personally, but just all, World Series and through the years and all the great players. And what are your thoughts on that? And what are some of your best memories of the Oakland A's and that Coliseum?
I never made it inside the Coliseum, unfortunately. But I mean, it's the team, it's the players and the support that they got that I feel, is the thing that's worth looking back on here. I just remember dominant teams in the late 80s. And that was before, teams worried too much about what market you were in. And by the way, Oakland's no small market. The Bay Area is one of the biggest markets in the country. So that was a matter of cheap owners with the whole Moneyball thing and the current owner as well. I hate it for the fans, first and foremost. That's the thing. I hate it for the players for the next 3 years, too, for the A's, because they're essentially going to be a minor league team masquerading in major league uniforms, playing in a AAA stadium where they're sharing it with a AAA franchise. And there's no guarantee that this Las Vegas park opens. It's a black eye on baseball. It's awful what they've done to the franchise, to that city, and to that fan base. They should be ashamed of themselves, but of course they're not, because they don't ever feel shame. All right, so, Kevin, I don't have personal memories of the A's because I never got inside the ballpark. I would have liked to see a game there, but when I had a choice, I went to see Giants games instead. Much nicer place to watch a game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was watching the World Series when the earthquake hit back in, I guess that was late 80s, early 90s.
It's 89. 1989. I remember that.
I went up to a game to watch the Royals, and they happened to be playing the A's, and it was just on a day that was very slow. I think it was the middle of the week. This was years ago, and there were probably only 2,000 or 3,000 fans, but Ricky Henderson was out there in left field, and every pitch was approaching it the same way. I mean, I just watched him the whole game. He's a professional the whole game. And I don't know, there were just some great A's teams, some great history there. Just hate to see it.
I hate to see it too. And, teams that have left their city, it's tough to get a team to go back, but we have seen this recently. I mean, look, Seattle, they're going to be the next city to get an NBA franchise whenever expansion happens. Vegas probably as well. Football, Cleveland, wasn't that the last time the NFL expanded, Matt, was just to put one more team in and put it in Cleveland so that they could right that wrong. You got to have a new stadium in order for it to happen, but I would hope Oakland will be looked at in the future, as long as they're going to have a new ballpark, though.
I guess that was Baltimore, was I'm trying to think with the Panthers and the Jaguars, was that 94, 95 when they expanded those two teams? And then
even those cities lost their teams.
Nashville.
Houston lost the Oilers. They got a team back. Who else? I mean, Oakland lost the Raiders. They ended up getting the Raiders
St. Louis
back.
lost a team, lost them back, got them back again, and then lost them again. Yeah.
That's right. And then, you mentioned there's Cleveland. Chicago's lost teams, got a team back as well. It's just, to me, it's a big enough area. Oakland is not a small market. That's Oakland and San Francisco and San Jose and Santa Clara and Marin County and Napa and all of them. I mean, that is all the same market. That is not a small market. That's a big enough area to be able to support two major league teams. And they did for decades. You have an owner that wants something brand new and shiny and doesn't care if he's leaving, I think a fan base with a hole in their heart. Because you're not building a fan base like that in Las Vegas. It's just not going to happen. I saw one of the Oakland fans say, "What are you building a stadium? You have 70% visiting fans?" It's basically what goes on there. It's what's going to happen. It's not good for that team. It's not good for baseball. It's too bad. It's too bad. Yeah, and we get a listener who's watching the Braves and Mets in this doubleheader. You got to be nervous for a thing like this. You win the first game, you're in, and then you can just basically take the second game off and pack your bags to go wherever it is you got to go. Like if one of these two teams, once this doubleheader is complete, plays in either San Diego or Milwaukee tomorrow, it's just it's utter craziness. They put this day in to the schedule for tiebreakers, and you ended up doing this doubleheader so that the Braves ownership can make a gate, can get gate from hot dogs and ticket sales on a Monday afternoon. Which I was wondering how many people are actually at this thing. With as much as it means, it's a Monday afternoon doubleheader. It's just kind of craziness to think about this. But they're doing it, and I appreciate you texting in even when you're watching it. And there it is. There's his photo. 2-0 Braves, says the score bug. Yeah. All right, we got a break here on halftime. Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. He was in on the Sam Pittman Monday press conference. We'll visit with him after this break on halftime.
This is halftime.
We are here in the Bud Walton Arena, where it is about as loud as a building could get. The loudest arena to start a game I've ever been in.
This is a hard place. You don't come here expecting to win. Let me tell you that.
The name, the brand, the identity that he brings to a program that has a storied, rich tradition, an outstanding fan base in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This is Ricky Young with Mr. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes, vegetable-related rock for a healthier lifestyle. When we have any problem at all we call 782-8940.
It's a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Light me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
If you're interested in continuing your involvement in high school athletics and want to make some extra money, what better way to do so than by becoming an official? For information on how you can give back to student athletes in Arkansas, please contact us at 501-955-2500. Again, that's 501-955-2500. The Arkansas Activities Association is looking for sports officials, and you may be the answer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
All right, we are efforting getting Mike Irwin here on Halftime. We've had a couple of moments, I think once before, he just left his phone at home. Which I've done before as well. But when I work at home, it doesn't really matter all that much. But we'll get Mike when we have an opportunity to at 877-377-6963. Ryan in Prairie Grove said the A's still have the best hats. I don't know if you saw this hat. It must have been like from the late 90s or something. You remember those? You remember like the just real flashy color in some of the hats that you wear. And by the way, I see Travis Williams wearing what feels to me being a 90s Razorback hat on the sideline. But I saw one of these A's hats where it's like they got a secondary A's logo in the background that says A's, and then the main logo on the top that says A's, and it actually looks like the hat says ass. Like you got an A next to a faded S next to a bigger S, and it literally does look like it's an ass hat.
Yeah, you got to put the elephant on there, man. I'm still going Milwaukee Brewers best hats. Those are classic. And then my second one is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Pirates, when it was more of a square hat and they just had a couple lines through it.
Pillbox.
Oh, it's like a 70s. Yeah, those are my two favorite though. Yeah.
And they would. That's right. They had the two
For
kind of
baseball.
levels to put the stars inside, the Stargell stars, which you would
Yeah,
get
that's who
for-
probably pops. That's probably the hat I remember him wearing it over there on the sideline.
Yeah, and he had probably like 30 stars on the thing. I think Kent DeCulvey would have had like 30 stars on the thing, just one for every save that he got.
How else am I going to light my smoke?
No kidding. And man, those late 70s Pirates were some smokers.
Yeah, they were.
A few years
they
after
were.
that, they were doing some other things in the clubhouse that got them into a lot of trouble. I like the elephant logo too. It's and it's like the only teams I know that have the elephant going on would be the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Oakland A's. Do we know any other elephants? Any other elephant logos involved in this here? I don't know of any any NFL teams. There's certainly no elephants involved in the NBA. I mean, elephants on skates sounds like it would be a lot of fun. Although, do you remember the Quebec Nordiques? The Quebec Nordiques, they're now the Colorado Avalanche. They were an NHL team for a long time in Quebec City, and they had the weirdest looking logo. I don't even know how to describe what this thing was. It was like this red hump with a little hockey stick on it, and it looked like it could be a red elephant. That's the closest that it would come to any other team that has the elephants, which would be Alabama and would also be to who are we talking about? The Oakland Athletics. Kevin in Fort Smith wanted to know about this tiebreaker, this doubleheader with the Mets and Braves. It's tiebreakers. Is the reason why. I think they're separated by one game and two of the teams are tied at the moment. But the reason why you would end up with, if the teams split, that both teams make it to the postseason, is that they would both end up with a tiebreaker. The team that would be tied with Arizona would have the tiebreaker in that case. So that would be the reason why. Otherwise, the playoffs all start tomorrow. So that's really when people kind of start watching a lot more baseball.
Professional football team, American football team in Catania, Italy. They're called the Catania Elephants. So I had to
Get
go
outta
across
here.
the world to find one. But
What league do they play in?
They're in a professional. They played from 08 to 012, so they don't even. They might have dissolved by now. But there you go. There's one in Italy. They had it.
Now, what was the Italian team name again?
Catania.
Catania.
The
All right.
Catania Elephants.
I guess that. See, there is an elephant out there somewhere. Now, here's some an article on ESPN. Sources are saying that the Big Ten and SEC next week at an in-person meeting in Nashville, where this sounds very, under the covers and spy-like, Big Ten and SEC athletic directors will be discussing a possible partnership in football scheduling for the future, along with preferences for automatic bids in the next iteration of the college football playoff, which I think there's only 2 years remaining on the current contract. And you already know that you're going to get more SEC teams in than the other leagues in the future. But from reading this, it looks like they're thinking about potentially 4 automatic bids per league, Big Ten, SEC, and then the crumbs to go to the rest of the league. But the other aspect of this, too, I love the idea of an SEC Big Ten scheduling partnership. I think that would be a great thing. You end up with the top teams playing each other all the way down. I think that'd be fantastic, and you wouldn't know who you would play on an annual basis until, who knows, like maybe a month or two before the season starts, or
well, when the season ends,
something like that.
You'll know who you play based on when the season ends. Each year, it's just a floating door on who's first place plays the other first place team, who's second place plays it. That would be pretty cool. I'd be in for that. Now, if you're an SEC coach or a Big Ten coach, I mean, that's another L. That's just another L you're at, and now it's not a conference L, so it doesn't mess you up getting there, but. It's a tough game is what I'm saying. It's not like you're going to go play Tulsa.
Well, based on that, both these leagues would have to play the same amount of league games in order to have, I think, a real scheduling partnership. Big Ten's at 9. The SEC remains at 8. And, man, I thought there was some momentum to get to 9 a year or two ago, but it doesn't feel like you're there now. But I think coaches and athletic directors are going to have to get past the idea of, well, it's one more loss. When you have 12 teams make the playoffs, the one loss doesn't matter as much. I mean, Georgia loses to Alabama. Look, they've got a really tough schedule, too. I mean, they get Texas and Tennessee, too, but that loss did not knock them out of the college football playoff.
They lose to Texas and Tennessee, then they're knocked out. Do you have a 3-team Georgia? Do you think, a 3-loss team in the SEC? I think that third loss kind of knocks you out.
But 2 does not. Even if Georgia were to lose to...
Because that's too good. That's the 2 best losses out there. You get beat by Alabama and either Texas or Tennessee. Those are 2 losses of teams that are going to make the playoff 12.
So let's say they lose to Texas but beat Tennessee. I mean, and beat Ole Miss and beat all the other teams outside of losing to Texas. So if your 2 losses are to Alabama and Texas, but you beat Tennessee and you're 10-2, and you beat Clemson and you beat Georgia Tech... I would bet you do make it.
They're in.
You probably make it as one of the last seeds in, which means you're on the road for that first round game, but you're in.
I don't like 4 automatic bids, Phil. I like 3. If you were to say I think that 4th one, sometimes you're reaching a little bit. Now it's a money thing. Obviously, the SEC, for the most part, your 4th team's probably going to be okay, but I think that's too, especially the Big Ten. You're going to give the Big Ten 4 at large as well. I don't know.
Yeah, you wonder where it all comes from there, but it's a power play. I mean, it is a power play that these 2 leagues have already...
3-3, you got 50% of it. You got if you go 3-3 at large, that doesn't mean you can't get a 4th, but your 50% of the battle is SEC and Big Ten.
These 2 leagues already had a massive power play when they rewrote the contract, and more money goes to the SEC and Big Ten than the other leagues by far. And I mean, it's well understood that there'll be more SEC teams and Big Ten teams in the championship, or not in the championship, the playoffs. It's just that now, because there's only 2 years left, these 2 teams saying, you know what, or these 2 leagues saying, we're going to be, whatever the next iteration of the college football playoff is what college football looks like moving forward.
You want to
go. If you end up with this Super 64 league or something that goes along with whatever the next iteration of the college football playoff looks like. Maybe it's not just going to be at 12. Maybe they expand it to 16. I don't know. But if I think it makes a lot of sense for the 2 leagues that are the big elephants in college football and act like the 800-pound gorilla too, well, then I think they should partner with each other. They should schedule somewhat together. And I don't think you'd play 2 or 3 Big Ten teams a year. I think you'd play 1. I think you would play 1. You'd have to be at 9 league games. Maybe you still get your FCS game, and then you get your group of 5. Maybe you schedule one more Power 4 opponent after that. I don't know, but I love the idea of the 2 best leagues getting together and actually scheduling amongst themselves. Makes a lot of sense. I think it'd be appointment viewing.
You want to do a break now since we got Mike, and then, or we want to go to Mike and just keep it going?
Well, all right, let's go to Mike. Mike Irwin's with us here from Pig Trail Nation, and we appreciate you calling us up here, Mike. How you doing today?
Doing good.
Good. All right. So let's see. What stood out from what you heard from Sam Pittman today?
I said more of the injuries this week are on the offensive side, although R-Dub apparently is off suspension, so he's coming back, and I guess they're going to play Braylon Russell, continue to play him more, so they got plenty of running backs. Braxton is still probably out in the secondary, but Clark is probably back, so that's where that stands. You know, there's been a lot of talk about this pass rush and how bad it was, and Taylon Green's running all over the place. He said the problem in many cases is the rush is coming straight from the front. So he doesn't have an opportunity to step up into the pocket, so he's bailing more. So, look, that's going to continue to be a problem. But, look, guys, I watched that game, and I've listened to all the criticism of this offensive line. We knew in the preseason, all I read about was how good A&M's D-line was. 4- and 5-star guys, they're going to tear it up. And they, frankly, have been disappointing so far, but not in this game. They played really well. And still, I thought Arkansas had its moments. They had the lead for most of the game. They certainly took the lead in the fourth quarter. And I think the way the defense was playing, I expected them to be able to hold that, and couldn't believe what happened right after they got that lead when A&M just ran the ball right down Arkansas's throat, until I realized, listening to the press conference, that they had put the second unit in there along the D-line. Pittman said he just felt like they fresh would be better than the starters fatigued. And then he ended up saying today that when they realized they had a problem, they had substitution issues, and they weren't able to until it was too late. I think that was a major mistake. You can't undo it now, but I think it had a whole lot to do with why they lost that game.
Any positives to take away, Mike, when you talk about we kind of played from the lead for most of it? I thought this was Landon Jackson's best game as a Razorback, especially this season. I thought the execution from Green to Armstrong when it's third down and their timing and the rapport that they have, it continues to blossom. I thought Satania, I thought he was a difference maker in the first half, and it's like we faded him in the second half for some reason. I thought he was close. I thought he was close to breaking one. You'd have liked to seen him get the ball to Satania a little bit more. And then, well, I don't understand why we abandoned the run game in a one-score game.
I think they were having trouble running the ball. I think A&M was probably saying, hey, we're going to stop you from running and force you to throw and then put a pass rush on you. I thought TeSlaa had his best game. But there were some positives there. Here's my evaluation, and a lot of these fans don't like it, but you continue to hold this team responsible for what happened last year, so people are saying this year is just like last year, and it's not. But they're not progressing fast enough for some of these guys. When you have a down situation like last year, you don't automatically bounce back from it. I want to go back to 04, and the 03 team lost a lot of good players. So in 04, you had a 5-6 season. Then in 05, it went to 4-7, and everybody's saying fire Houston Nutt. But look what happened in 06. 10-game win season, SEC West champions. Only outright SEC West championship Arkansas ever had. Sometimes when you have a bad situation like last year, you don't immediately bounce back from it. But is the answer to just flush everybody and start all over again? And I don't think that's the answer. I was listening to Quinn Grovey on a podcast he did. He said he liked the character of these guys. I do too. When you watch Taylon Green and you watch how he interacts with his teammates, the fact that they do these prayers after the game, the fact that he goes onto the field with these Bible scriptures written on his back arm, the fact that, you know, when Andrew Armstrong got mad at Keyshawn Blackstock for some of the problems he was having, and they were having an argument on the sideline, and Taylon Green came over there and immediately diffused that situation. I still think these guys are holding together, trying to get better, and to me it's a shame that they have to be held responsible for what happened last year, but that's the way it is.
Well, that's understood. I mean, that's 40,000. That's the 40,000-foot view on things, and the idea that sometimes improvement occurs slowly, but within the context of this season. And look, I agree. I think this is a better team than last year. I think it's a better offensive line than last year, and I think that there's more chemistry and the guys like each other more and all of that. I'm just still trying to figure out, you know, you're going to be held responsible based upon what your record is right now and what your record is on this season. So they're at 3 wins. They got 4 wins last year, and 5 is not enough to point and say, well, we've improved this year. Bowl game is. Where are the other 3 wins coming from? This is the schedule now just takes an immediate uptick in terms of the kind of opponent that you're playing. the talent level. And maybe that was the truth going from Auburn to A&M. Outside of Mississippi State and Louisiana Tech, you are playing some of the most talented teams in the entire country on both sides of the ball. So, yes, they are improved, but I think people want wins, and that's what they'll point to.
Well, you lost a game that was winnable. So now you're faced with, I think they need 2 more SEC wins. So you start looking at the schedule. Where are they? I don't know. Missouri right now I think is beatable. I don't know that they can do that. It's in Columbia, but that would be a nice way to end the regular season. And then you start looking, okay, who else is vulnerable? Maybe Ole Miss is. We're going to have to see how they bounce back. They finally played a real opponent and didn't look like they've been looking. Well, is that permanent, or is that just they got caught off guard? I don't know. What about LSU? They've been a little bit inconsistent. Look like they're playing well right now, but are they beatable? It's just hard to say. But they have to have 2. They have to figure out a way to win 2 more SEC games.
Did any mention of the turnovers and the problems that if you look at it, got to be cleaner, can't keep turning the ball over and expect to beat good teams in the SEC?
Yeah, I don't think that was discussed, but it's obvious. I mean, that's what's hurt Arkansas in those 2 losses, the turnovers. I mean, those 2 teams were pretty evenly matched, and they played pretty much the same statistically, but the difference is A&M didn't turn it over, and Arkansas did. Some of that was, Green got on that fumble. He just got hit from behind. I don't think he knew anybody was back there, and that's a difficult situation. But it happened. I think he is a potentially really good quarterback. He's got some real talent, but it may take longer to develop him. It may take longer to let him settle in, to get comfortable, to realize how he has to react in an SEC environment as opposed to a Mountain West environment. And I've said this before, if it takes him coming back next year, then that's what happens. But he is one of a number of guys on this team that I think potentially are really good, and I would hate to see those guys get flushed because you come in here and get rid of everybody because you're convinced that, we've got to get these fans. I don't know where they think this magical savior is going to come from, this coach that's going to come in and change everything. I mean, you sure got on these message boards, they sure got a lot of names. They're going to go get this guy or that guy or this guy. I don't know, maybe.
Well, people were acting like Bobby Petrino was going to come in and swoop in and change things automatically offensively by his genius and by the idea of what he did as the head coach here all those years back. And it's not necessarily the case. He's dealing with the same issues. You're dealing with a lot of the same issues. And I've wondered, so if you have an offensive line that struggles to pass block, it's not just up the middle, it's on the edges too, on the RPO. It's up to, if you're not going to make personnel changes on that offensive line, you got to figure out something that works, something that this line does well, and that's run block at times. And I think turning a game ugly might actually play into Arkansas's hands at times this year.
Well, and he said, that's one of the other things he said, they don't consider making personnel changes on the offensive line the answer. They think they've got the right people in there. They just have to do a better job. I agree. I think you need to run more. But I think they tried at times, and I think that was A&M's game plan, stop Arkansas. And there may be other teams that now do this. Petrino, people forget that he had a losing season his first year here. He didn't just turn it around immediately. It was a process. It was the second year, and they got somewhat better, had a winning record, but it was that third year when they caught fire, and, they won 10 games and 11 games in those 2 years. I just think sometimes people want a quick, easy answer, and again, the issue is if you start trying to make this team responsible for what happened last year or the year before. And you got to look at this team, not last year's team, not 2 years ago. And we'll see if the point is those guys don't make the decision. There's a guy that gets paid to make those decisions, and we don't have his. He doesn't call. Under Yurachek doesn't call me up and tell me what he thinks. So I don't know what his thinking is on that right now.
All right, Mike, we'll leave it there because we're right up against a hard break, and I appreciate you calling us up and making some time for us today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike Irwin, Pig Trail Nation, with us each Monday on Halftime. If you're craving something sweet and delicious for game day, you got to be over at Andy's Frozen Custard and take home a Pick 6. You'll mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat at Andy's Frozen Custard. You find their locations Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, East Oak Street and Dave Ward Drive in Conway, and on JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. It's Andy's Frozen Custard. Walk up or drive through, always ready to serve you. We are also ready to take your calls and read your texts. 877-377-6963. Halftime is back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You're listening to Halftime live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast. And always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Did your 6 weeks with your kids this summer fly by? Is your ex on another tropical vacation while you're working 2 jobs to pay your child support? I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Arkansas law on custody and child support has changed, and those changes could benefit you. So stop scrolling through her vacation pictures and protect your rights today. Call me at 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Your Honor, my son deserves this kid.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Problem is all inside your head, she said to me. The answer is easy if you take it logically. I'd like to help you, your struggle to be free. There must be 50 ways to leave your lover. She said
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
50 ways to leave your lover.
All right, back on halftime as we take you into your home stretch. 877-377-6963 for anything you want to hit on with us. I feel like we've kind of hit on just about everything we can on the Texas A&M football game, Matt. I don't know where else to go with it. Punter won. I think the punter might have been the MVP for A&M. Arkansas stopped running the ball. Had very poor protection. It isn't just up the middle. It's off the edges. Field position was a huge aspect of the game, and I just think their defensive line was better than Arkansas's offensive line, and I think their defensive game plan was better than the Arkansas offensive game plan. Does that sound about right?
You know, yeah, that's pretty close, Phil. It's you get into games like this, and they're battles. They really are. And when you go back and you watch film, that's what hurts you. Is you go back and you watch film, and you're like, oh man, we make this play right here. Oh my goodness, we make this play right here. That's a chance. The game could just be shifted the whole way. So the plays were out there. We just
Well, here's a for instance on one of them, like this play where it was it 3rd and 4 on the go ahead drive for the Aggies, where they hand the ball off to Le'Veon Moss, and Danny Salee is right there. He's got his arms around him in the backfield, but Moss just was able to break through, and the next thing you know, he's 33 yards down the field, and 2 plays later they're within scoring distance, and that's when you could make your defensive substitutions, and by that point it was too late. They're in the end zone. Like, that's, if he makes that tackle, A&M's either got to go for it on 4th down in their own territory, or they punt, and then Arkansas can, maybe run some clock down with a 3-point lead, and maybe even that would have been like one of the only opportunities for Arkansas to have decent field position. They averaged their own 18. That's why the punter did amazing work. 9 punts. Satania Fair caught every one of them. And I did wonder about a couple of those that maybe called for the fair punt a little earlier, because that to me feels like it feels like it might be a little difficult to get yardage now against some of the SEC defenses. If you can get somebody to return a punt just to average another 10 yards, 15 yards, I think it would be huge.
Yeah, Tesla made a play. Satania, I thought in the first half, might have had his best half as far as people getting him the ball and being a part of the offense. Kind of, I don't know if maybe it was just by design, or maybe Elko made a couple of adjustments. I don't know why we didn't get him the ball a little bit in the second half. And you don't abandon the run. Defense is keeping you in it. There were plays out there to be made.
Well, I guess there'll be some plays out there to be made this weekend against Tennessee, right?
I don't know. I think it might be ugly. I think it's going to be it. They say it gets worse before it gets better. This might be a rude awakening. Arkansas Razorbacks. This is the best team that they've played all year. We go out there and don't pay attention to detail, leave free runners, and have 3 turnovers.
Oh yeah,
you're going to get embarrassed.
So it's a freshman quarterback that Arkansas lost to against Texas A&M. You got another freshman quarterback coming in who's better than Marcel Reed, who's more accurate.
What'd you think of Marcel Reed, Phil?
I actually thought he was pretty good.
Right? I mean, he had a little wiggle to him. He's a little small for my liking, but for Saturdays he's fine because he can move. I don't know if that translates to Sundays, but man, he looked like he knew what he was doing.
Man, and they called the perfect play for them after Bale's punt went out at the 1 yard line. You're thinking, oh man,
that sprint out, sprint
well,
right.
He rolls to the right, fires a strike. I forget the name of the receiver. I mean, it was an absolutely perfect play. He couldn't defend it, and they got some room from right there. I thought that it was a brilliant call, brilliant play, and it was just simple, just a simple 10-yard out. That was it. I liked Reed. Iyama Liava is better. And they got a running game that you can count. Look at some of these numbers here that we got on Tennessee. Number 1 in the country in defensive third down percentage. You know how I've pointed out how Arkansas has been so good on third and long? They were 1 of 5 on third and long against A&M. Tennessee's defense has faced 22 third down and 10 yards or more. You know how many first downs they've allowed on 3rd and 10 out of 22 tries? 0. Not one. Not one. Opponents are converting 17% of third downs against Tennessee. That's number 1 in the country. They're one of the best at getting into the backfield and taking down a running back. They don't sack the quarterback too often, but they get into the backfield. This is where Arkansas has been their strongest. And at times, you can't win on third and long. That's fluky. The way Arkansas beat Auburn was fluky. You don't win games by converting 8 third and longs when 2 of them were penalties. So that was a little fluky. And it ain't going to be so fluky with Tennessee because if you even convert 1 third and long against them, you're doing something that hasn't happened in the first 4 games they've played. Back to wrap up halftime right after this break.
This is halftime.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
No sleeping, yeah, the beatles creeping around like no nose. Think you're so criminal. Useless on both my knees. Don't say thank you, oh please. I do what I want. You're so cynical. So you're tough, like you're really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy. Just always so puff guy. I'm that bad guy, make your mama sad guy, make your girlfriend mad guy. I'm the bad guy.
Duh. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Monday Night Football. They got two games again tonight. Tennessee at Miami. Boy, that'll be fun. Quarterbacks. One, we don't even know who's going to be a quarterback for Miami. And on the other side, quarterback play for Tennessee has been pretty abysmal. -2.5 Miami on BetSaracen. And the other game, be a little bit better. Seattle at Detroit. Lions are a 4-point favorite. And I think I picked the Sea Chickens to be one of the 3-0 teams that lost, Matt. Turned out the Steelers and the Bills were 3-0 teams that lost. And I think the Lions will take care of business today, even though no Frank Ragnow. I saw he did not go on IR, but we still don't know when he's going to come back from this torn pec.
I've been around a guy that's torn his pec before, and I want to say it was in the weight room. Man, you can't even move your. I mean, that's you think about how it's connected and stuff. It's almost. I think it's 100%. You have to have surgery. You know, you have to do something to fix it because it's you got to have it.
I wouldn't imagine that's the kind of thing you'd just be. You know what? Just like tape it up, and I'll deal with it.
You know, you'd rather have an oblique strain than a torn pec.
Wouldn't you feel that every time you breathe?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Sounds miserable. Well, all those odds are on the BetSaracen app. Apple iPhone, Google Android, all the web browsers, BetSaracen.com. It felt like a therapeutic day today. Do you feel a little better, Matt? I don't know if you take the losses hard or not, but sometimes a Monday can be like a mad Monday. I don't know if I felt too much anger today. I think listeners got it out the first two shows this morning.
You got to have expectations to lower them, and that's kind of where we are right now with this football team.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk all about it again tomorrow because we'll ball up the box score from Arkansas A&M on Wednesday and throw it away, burn it, and put it in the recycling chamber and all those things. Tomorrow a little bit more on Arkansas A&M. And, hey, Greg McElroy told the Little Rock Touchdown Club today that Arkansas will be responsible for an upset this year. Well, they're going to have a lot of chances for one. Appreciate you tuning in to Halftime today. Stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach, and make sure you download the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast, ready very, very soon. For Matt Jones, for Christian Johnston, and for Colton Little, I'm Phil Elson. We appreciate you listening today, and that's Halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.